Hello everyone and welcome to this channel. I am Lilly and in this video I'm going to explain how the praying part of belief is functioning. Belief is agreed to have started with early humans developing spiritual beliefs to help explain the world around them. And the oldest form of belief we know of was animism by our Paleolithic ancestors. Following this, the belief in an afterlife emerged, with the continuation resulting in shamanism and ancestor worship. Our early ancestors tried to make contact with the spirits of the animals they hunted, and with this also started to worship them to show appreciation for all they provided and presented offerings to them. This tells us that they also seem to have believed in animism, meaning giving spirits to natural and inanimate objects, and they used rock paintings and petroglyphs or rock carvings for spiritual or magic rituals. When praying, our individual tribe members' unrest will be appeased with the grade depending on the temple's strength. The speed of the appeasement granted is then decided by any support structure, and I will get back to that in a bit. Let's start off with the offerings and how they work. The activity we can do with the offerings are praying, and we have two types of offerings that we as players can place where we see fit that gives appeasement when praying. The Mesolithic and the Neolithic offerings, they grant a 25% reduction to unrest. They have each their own visual version, and they do not need materials, but they will need to have the offerings replaced on a regular basis. These offerings can be built in each their culture, but you can only have both if you have both cultures in your tribe. And now moving on to the various temples and menhirs in the game. The menhir is a support structure for your temples, altars and offerings, and if you place it near to these structures they will increase the appeasement speed of praying. It takes 1,000 stones to be built and can only be built when you have a 40% architecture skill level, and you must also have any percentage of Neolithic influence in the tribe. The trilithon is the highest yielding object for adding increased appeasement speed to any temples. The trilithon takes 3,000 stones to be built and will give any nearby temples, altars or offerings a very fast appeasement rate. In order to build a trilithon, you will need to have any Neolithic influence in the tribe and 70% architecture skills. Both these support structures must be placed within 20 meters, which is roughly 22 yards, of the temples, the altars and the offerings. Otherwise the effect is lost. The more support structures you have around your temples, altars or offerings, the quicker the appeasement speed will be. Moving over to the temples and their function. The small temple menhir is a structure for praying to gods and spirits. It grants a 50% appeasement and it costs 1,500 stones to be built. It can be built in any timeline, but you do need a 30% architecture skill in order to build it. If you place support structures around it, such as menhirs and trilithons, the speed of prayer effect will be greatly increased. The altar is also a structure for praying and will also benefit from having support structures around it. Your tribe will place offerings to both the small temple menhir and this altar, and you as a player cannot control it. The altar grants a 75% appeasement and costs 2,500 stones. You will also need 30% architecture skills and 30% stoneworking skills for this to be built. The most impactful temple we have is the temple menhir. It takes 4,000 stones and 60% architecture skills, along with 60% stoneworking skills and 40% Neolithic influence to be built. If you place any support structures around this temple menhir, your people will be done praying with 100% appeasement in the quickest amount of time. The temple menhir will grant 100% appeasement.